heal and grow.
Court is calling 2023 CR 6472, State of Texas versus Lea Telsa. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the State Yard.
Defense.
Ed Garza for Ms. Telsa.
Are you Ms. Telsa?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We did, Your Honor.
Are you black on the record? You had a question for me?
Yes. I was gonna ask if where's the community service gonna be at? Like what the location?
Oh. Probation is going to give you all of that information. Okay.
All right.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a peace officer or judge bodily injury? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, for pleas of court.
All right. So all of this was over somebody owing somebody $50,
Sort of, Your Honor, yes.
and then you're getting involved.
Correct, Your Honor. My client accepts responsibility for making a very bad judgment that day and
Yes,
making a bad decision.
because here's the thing that people don't understand. One, do people think people should be hitting on females? No. But as a female, you can't hit somebody and then think they're not going to hit you back. And I read the police report. So the officer is attempting to stop a fight. And then everybody else wants to get involved. You want to get involved because you're like his brother. You're saying that that's my brother who's in the fight, right? And then you're going to punch the officer, and then the officer is getting you under control. And according to this, you're still punching and kicking on him. And then somebody's like, no, don't do it. She's pregnant. Well, guess what? When people are pregnant, they should not be getting involved in altercations. So how far along are you in your pregnancy?
8 months.
Do you have any other children? Are you employed? So how old are you?
20.
How are you supporting yourself? Like, how do you make money to eat?
I have a boyfriend that supports me.
Are you living with him?
He lives with me. I have my own apartment.
Well, how are you paying for your apartment?
It's already paid for a year through housing.
All right. So this is what I know about housing, because I used to do CPS cases. If you're on housing, your boyfriend's not supposed to be living with you. And honestly, your boyfriend's not supporting you. You know who's supporting you? Everybody in here who has a job and pays taxes. I'm supporting you. Your attorney's supporting you. All the attorneys who are in here supporting you. Anybody in the gallery who has a job is supporting you. So your boyfriend is not supporting you. And what I'm going to tell you right now, if your boyfriend is living with you and you're on housing, guess what? If the government finds out about it, which usually they do, you're going to end up having charges because they're going to want their money back. And this is the way the government works. The government doesn't tell you they know your boyfriend is living with you. They don't tell you they know that you're getting food stamps and you shouldn't get them. You know what they do? They wait till it's a felony. And then once it's a felony, then they bring charges. You understand?
That's wrong.
How far did you go in school?
I got a high school diploma.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Getting myself together.
How?
By getting a job.
And what type of job are you looking for?
Restaurant.
All right. See, here's the thing. You've decided and you made the decision to have a child with this boyfriend who can't even support himself. How old is he?
He's 22.
All right. He's 22. He can't even support himself. Y'all are both living off the government. Are you receiving food stamps? Y'all are living off the government and you're about to bring a child into this world. And now the child is going to have one of their parents. I don't know about his criminal history, but the child is going to have one of their parents who's already on probation for a felony, and a parent who fights officers in an alley who's pregnant and not even at this point thinking about them. Because if you were thinking about your unborn child, you wouldn't have been fighting with an officer in an alley and you wouldn't have been in an alley. You understand? And if you are not careful, Child Protective Services is going to be involved in your life. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
And do you know if your boyfriend has any criminal history?
Oh,
Do you know or do you not know?
I don't know.
So why are you with him if you don't know if he has criminal history? Do you know how far he went to school? You're the boy explain something to you. She is on government housing. You shouldn't be living with her because the taxpayers don't want to pay for you to live with her. You need to get your own house. If she's carrying your child, which you say she is, you need to be financially able to support your child, which means you're not living off the government on her housing that's been paid up for a year that we the taxpayers are paid for. If people want to go out and have children, guess what? I'm not supposed to be the person supporting your child. Y'all supposed to support your child because I didn't agree to have a child with him. I didn't agree for you to have a child. Now, if you want the taxpayers to support your child, then what you need to do is, and I see mom holding him down, keeping him calm. You know what? If people want to play stupid games, you're going to get stupid prizes. And it's going to result in this deputy removing you from this courtroom. So if you want the government and the taxpayers to pay for you to have a child, you know what you need to do? Before y'all decide to live together and have a child, you need to come to a panel of citizens and say, I would like for you to pay for my housing. I would like for you to pay for my child. Will you agree for me to have a child? Not doing that. Y'all are just doing whatever you want to do, and somebody else is taking care of your child. And when your child is born, if that's your mom, guess what? That grandmother is going to end up taking care of the child more than you. You understand? That's yes or no.
Yes.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. We'll do 200 hours of community service with Sean. If she gets a degree, if she gets into trade school, then those hours will be waived. I'm going to order parenting classes. If she completes parenting classes, then those hours will be waived. It's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits one time per month until further notice. And I'm going to want anger management classes, proof of employment within 90 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
From here on out, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything you do in this world while you're still under this contract with the court, any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And let me explain to you, I take no joy in sending people to prison. But if I feel they deserve to go to prison, I'm not going to be worried about the fact that you have a newborn baby, that you're breastfeeding or whatever. If it comes up that you need to go to prison, you're going to prison and somebody else will be raising your child. Do you understand?
I'm sure.
You're going to have to make better decisions. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes. Court is calling 2020. Thank you so much for coming. Court is calling 2023 CR 7014, State of Texas versus Joseph Waylon Griffin. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Carl Bass for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Griffin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction? If the state is able to prove the repeater count paragraph, it's been a Monday, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1 in the repeater count. Punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There are no applications. They are taken in consideration JN 2126028. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
With regards to the repeat enhancement allegation, which states, and is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above on the 13th day of September 2019 and cause number 2019 CR 4951 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of controlled substance. Penalty group 1 to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, just ask the court to follow the plea bargain negotiated with the state on this case.
All right. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison. Court is finding the enhancement true. The court will give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration JN 2126028. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing from either side?
State, Your Honor.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go off the record. I see your tattoo is of the Grim Reaper. Do you want the Grim Reaper to one day find you at the Bexar County Jail or somebody else's jail or at prison? Or would you rather be in the free world?
Rather be home with my family, Your Honor.
All right. So if you continue doing what you're doing, the next time you are out here in the free world and you do something of this nature, depending on what you charge with, your minimum is going to be 25 years. And you know how Texas is. If you get the 25 years, you're probably going to be doing a majority of that 25-year sentence. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
27.
You're 27. You've made your life more difficult than it needed to be. So do you have children?
No, Your Honor.
That's a good thing because you're not ready. But your parents, I'm assuming, are still here.
Yes.
I don't think they ever dreamed that their child would be going in and out of prison. Do not become institutionalized. Fast money is usually not good money. And I will tell you, the people that I've represented before and what I've seen in my time on the planet, when you make fast money and it's money that's not made in the correct way, that money just goes through your fingers like water. You don't even realize what you spent it on. You have nothing to show for it. So for your fast life and the fast money that you're trying to make, the only thing you have to show for it is prison time, jail time. Don't come back here for this nonsense. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you planning on getting more tattoos? Maybe. Oh, that's okay. So what's up with the face mask tattoo? That looks like from Maximum Overdrive.
This one?
Yes.
It's a laugh now, cry later.
Oh, laugh now, cry later. Well, but sometimes people laugh and cry at the same times. And then sometimes people are saying, you know, I got to laugh so I won't cry.
Yeah.
All right. But if you check Maximum Overdrive with Emilio Estevez, that looks like the face that was on the diesel. But good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 1749, State of Texas versus David Morales. Can I have parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
David Martin, state.
Defense.
Megan Enriquez for David Morales.
And are you David Morales?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I apologize.
No problem. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of fraudulent use or possession of identifying information less than 5 elderly? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1. They're waiving count 2 and 3 in the enhancement. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There are no applications. There's to be restitution to Matilda Ramirez in the amount of $22,914. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Then to the offense and count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just briefly, Your Honor, he suffered with a drug addiction, which was the root cause of this case. The complaining witness is his grandmother. He feels terrible for what happened and what led up to this. He does intend, when he gets out, to help pay back this money that he took from her retirement check that she was receiving. And we just ask that you respectfully follow the plea bargain agreement we've reached with the state.
All right, state.
Nothing further.
All right, and state, did you speak with the complaining witness?
We have.
All right. And this is what she wishes?
She's okay.
Okay. All right. Court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with and restitution to Matilda Ramirez in the amount of $22,914.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, could we address, when he is released from prison, can we readdress the no contract order issue? I believe he's on good terms with his grandmother despite all of this. She currently puts money on his commissary book still despite all of this terrible situation. So I think that it would be her wish to have contact with her grandson.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, counsel, but sometimes you have to protect people from themselves until you are able to do better, because sometimes I will tell you in families, there's always that one person, be it the grandmother, the sister, the aunt, who says, well, I don't care if the rest of you are turning your back on this person who keeps stealing from everybody, but I'm not going to do it. So you've taken your grandmother's retirement. And I will tell you, grandparents, unless people are independently wealthy, the money that they receive once a month is a set amount that they receive that month. And it's usually when they're getting their Social Security and they're worked hard all their life, it's usually barely enough for them to live the way they were living when they were working. It's usually, all right, I got to pay the mortgage. Hopefully the mortgage has been paid off. I got to get groceries. And in this day and age, everybody has to get medication. And so you took $22,000, well, really close to $23,000 from your grandmother. The fact that she is still putting commissary on your book, it tells me that she's not at the mind frame yet where she realizes she needs to cut you off till you're responsible. I find in my short time on the planet, even though I'm in the twilight of my life, everybody at the jail has always improved themselves. So once you improve yourself when you're on the outside, then perhaps it can be reconsidered for contact. But for now, it should be no contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And what drugs have you been using?
I had a really bad addiction with methamphetamines.
Oh.
I recently have had a life-threatening disease, I guess, if you will. I would not like to speak about it.
No, I understand.
Affect my life. So for the past 3-4 months, I had not been smoking any meth or even weed.
And how long have you been in custody?
I've been in custody for 1 month exactly.
All right. So if you would like, I can recommend the therapeutic community. Whether or not they accept you is completely up to them. I don't have any jurisdiction to force them to accept you. The therapeutic community will not increase your time in custody, but if you're placed in it, at least they can help you get on the right track or maintain your sobriety.
I would like to just follow the plea agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
No.
Nothing further.
All right. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. There are a few people in your life who truly love you. And I can say this about myself as well, and who will truly be there for you no matter what. Your grandmother appears to be one of those people. Even though you hurt her and stole her money, she still put money on your books. You've got to start respecting your grandmother and respecting other people in your life who are trying to help you. And if your drug addiction is so bad that you're willing to steal from them, that's when you yourself, with the last ounce of morality you have, even though you're under the haze of drug addiction, you need to cut yourself off from those people. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck. All right, this is a motion to revoke. Court is calling 2023 CR 1750, State of Texas versus Ariel Reyes. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Brent Hardy for Mr. Reyes.
And are you Mr. Reyes?
Yes, Mrs.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? I'm sorry, not sign it, but did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you the same Ariel Reyes who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 1750 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on April 3rd, 2023 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
No.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Violated condition number 1 on or about the 12th day of August 2023 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Ariel Reyes committed the offense of criminal mischief in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed recommendation?
Yes, there is, Your Honor, an agreement, or actually an agreement between the state and the defense, and that is to continue the individual on his, continuing on his deferred and to have him attend the Bear County ISF 2 program.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Judge.
All right, Mr. Reyes, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Ariel Reyes.
All right, why are you not completing probation successfully?
I didn't have any no time.
No, I mean, you had enough time to commit a criminal mischief. So my question is, why are you not doing what you need to do to complete probation? Why shouldn't I send you to prison?
I have no idea.
So what is your problem? What's going on in your life that you can't be successful?
Actual problem.
All right. And what is with the Spurs tattoo? Has he been evaluated for gang affiliation? Probation. Has Mr. Reyes been evaluated for gang affiliation or no? Have you ever been in a gang?
No, ma'am.
Well, what's up with the Spurs tattoo?
Almost.
Gang evaluation.
We're going to need a gang evaluation. I don't think, I know they're a great Spurs fan. I'm a great Saints fan, but I'm not painting the fleur de lis on my body. I'm not getting it, especially on the sternum area, because I understand that's painful. So when they do the gang evaluation, it's not going to come up as anything because they're going to do it.
Yes.
They're going to come up with something.
Yes.
All right. So why are you being dishonest with the court? So again, we're back to the situation of why should I continue you? If you want, I'll give you 3 years in the prison. You will be done. You will have to serve half that time before you're eligible for parole. Whether they give you the parole at 3 years or not is completely up to the parole board. I have no control over that. So I can send you to prison for 3 years, or either you're about to be hit with some serious consequences for your actions, which one of them is going to be gang supervision. The other one is going to be ISF, cognitive and substance. And then there's going to be a TAP evaluation.
I take that 3 years.
All right. Court is going to find you guilty, revoke, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with David Arguello. If you want the therapeutic community, they can help you with your drug problem. It doesn't increase the time that you're at the prison. All right. So we'll do therapeutic community. You're still going to have to ask for it, and they may not give it to you because of your gang affiliation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're going to have to do better. I understand that you have issues in your past, and I understand your affiliations, but you're going to have to get a handle on your drug problem. Otherwise, somebody you love is going to get notice that there is somebody who has OD'd, and somebody's going to have to come down and identify your body. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Judge, he has 155 days.
All right. Yeah, I'm giving him credit for any time that he's been in custody.
Very well. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 3464. State of Texas versus Lea Tanton. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Defense.
Charles May for the defense, Your Honor, ready.
Are you Ms. Tanton? Yes, ma'am. Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiving count 1 and proceeding on count 2, Judge.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 2 and they're recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and an evaluation for felony drug court. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we would just ask that the court proceed with the deferred adjudication. My client is deeply remorseful of what she's done, her actions, Judge, and she would ask this court to follow the agreement that has been in place, Your Honor.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
I have a daughter.
How old?
She'll be 4 November 6th.
And where is she?
She is with my mother in Houston.
Is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am, I have full custody, no CPS cases.
Well, did you give up your rights to your mom?
No, I did temporary guardianship. My daughter has.
I'm sorry, could you?
I said, I gave temporary guardianship. My daughter.
All right, everyone, please whisper.
My
Yes.
daughter has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, so she gets the best medical care over in Houston. My mom works at the hospital, so.
How far did you go in school?
I went all the way into my junior year, and I did cosmetology school and completed all my hours.
Okay. So when's the last time you had employment?
I worked at Golden Chick. I would say it was March. It was March through April.
And what does your mom do at the hospital?
My mom is head coordinator of Sanjay.
And do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I have a brother and a sister. A younger
All right.
brother,
And
too.
what does your brother and sister do?
My brother is a barber. He's in barber school. And my sister is going to be graduating high school in about a year and a half.
All right. And who is this Michael Martin to you?
It's my ex-fiance.
What is that ex-fiance since this happened? Before you were arrested, how often were you doing meth?
I wasn't one.
Okay, I find that hard to believe. I don't think you're just doing marijuana. I think there's more to it. And let me just tell you why I say that. I say that because I've read the police report. So I think it's more than marijuana. And I'm going to tell you something right now. One, I'm inclined to go along with this deferred adjudication. If you tell me you don't have a meth problem, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you out into the world. I'm going to make a notation that you said you didn't have a meth problem. And you know what's going to end up happening? If you go out into that world and you're going to be drug tested, and when you're drug tested, you test positive for meth, I'm not going to want to hear that, oh, I have a meth problem, because I'm asking you right now to be honest with me so I can set conditions so that perhaps you can get your life together. Perhaps you can be in your daughter's life, because right now, the only thing you're doing is hanging around with a fiance who has parole violations. Did you know he had a criminal past?
I did, ma'am.
And you still thought, let me get with this guy who has a criminal past. I have a 4-year-old daughter who has medical needs, but eventually, because this guy is my fiance, this is the guy who I think would be great to be in her life. A person who's only doing marijuana doesn't believe that. Someone who's doing meth and other things believes that, because you're just trying to get your next fix. And if Michael Martin has parole and has been to, which if he's on parole, that means that he's been to prison. And if you think somebody who's been to prison with the charges that they have in this police report that he's on parole for, if you think that's a good person to be in your daughter's life, that tells me you're doing more than marijuana. So this is the last time I'm going to ask you, and we can pretend like this is the first time I'm asking you, if that will help you be honest with the court. How often are you using meth?
I stopped using meth. I did that for my daughter and because I was going to lose my family.
So when did you start using meth?
Started whenever I got with my fiance.
So why are you before the court pretending like you don't do math and you've never done math?
I'm not pretending like I haven't done it. I just.
Now you're playing semantics with me and I don't appreciate that because I clearly asked you how often you were using meth. I know you're not using meth today because you're in court and the deputies would not have brought you over with the items to do meth in the box. I asked you how often were you using meth and you said, I don't use meth. I haven't used meth. That's what you said. And you're playing games with me and I don't appreciate that. I already knew you used meth because that's in the police report. Nobody is driving around with this much meth in the car unless you're using it or unless you're selling it. And obviously there was an issue with you because I don't know why people are driving around San Antonio smoking a blunt in the car and you think the police are not going to pull you over. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing. Your Honor.
This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. We're going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. Follow all recommendations of TAP. If they recommend inpatient treatment, she's going to inpatient treatment. Is felony drug court full?
Your Honor, they are classified evaluations. They will be accepting clients, however, they don't have funding yet, so the clients will be limited.
All right, we'll do a referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court accepts her, she can go there. There's going to be 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want her in intensive parenting classes. Once she completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no contact with Michael Martin. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors, and that includes her own child. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. No, I'm sorry, not regular UAs. We're going to do the UA hotline. When you're released, where are you going to be staying? Who are you going to be staying with? Do you have a place to stay?
I have my own house here.
All right. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And she either needs to get her GED or complete some type of trade so you can get employment and get employment where you can take care of yourself and take care of your daughter. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So she needs some sort of trade school or either GED. And what I can tell you, because you have this charge, anything, any occupation that requires a license, you need to let them know about this because for some, they're not going to give you a certificate or anything because you have this felony. Do you understand? So before you waste money, ask them if that's going to be a problem.
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful on this deferred adjudication?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. State, with regards to this case, there were weapons. One weapon, I think, is stolen. So is there any destruction of the weapon?
I believe those were the co-defendant. The co-defendant was charged with that, Judge, but I can confirm.
All right. Thank you. So if those are your weapons, they're going to be destroyed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We can go off the record. What is this tattoo on your neck about?
It's $.
Why do you have a $sign on your neck?
I do my own tattoos. Just practice.
But no, why would you put a $sign? It has to mean something.
Everybody likes money.
All right. And Vashawn, I forgot on her. We're going to need a MIC evaluation and also also a gang evaluation. What is up with the weapon on your tattooed on your arm?
Did it myself.
And the snake?
I didn't do this thing.
All right. What is that about?
My cousin passed away in a car accident that we were both in, and her last name was Rose, so I guess Rose.
All right. And what is the other name underneath your arm?
My daughter.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Judge, she did have a UCW handgun from the same incident date in County Court 9. So she got a JSAT on that, but I can email those prosecutors to
Destroy the weapon.
Yes.
All right. Now, let me just tell you, your 4-year-old daughter, she can't go out into the world and make her own choices, right? That's why she's living with your mom. She doesn't have employment. She can't take care of herself. And usually children don't make great decisions, especially at that age, because they want what they want. If you give them candy, guess what? They want candy all the time, right? So your 4-year-old is depending on you to make good decisions, your mom to make good decisions, and you're not. I don't know what you were thinking that you would think it would be okay to bring a fiance in your daughter's life who's been to prison, obviously is not rehabilitated because you all are driving around smoking blunts in a car and he has a parole warrant. You need to either make a decision that you're going to be a good influence and a good parent to your 4-year-old, or either 100% get out of her life. Do you understand? Yes.
Your Honor, I just want to confirm if she resides here in Bear County or.
Oh, she's going to be here in Bear County. She will not be in Houston. Okay. All right. Thank you. Court is calling 2023 CR 3548 State of Texas versus, how do you pronounce your first name? Delina. I've been mispronouncing it forever. State of Texas versus Delina Glass. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
Adrian Bennett.
And are you Miss Glass?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Brianna, Brianna Brown. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Brianna Brown or the family of Brianna Brown. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State officer, exhibit number 1 with all the attachments.
Any
No.
objection?
No objections.
All right. And state, have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
We have, Your Honor.
All right. All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
I'd like to.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I just ask that you follow the agreement. Outside of the agreement, Judge, my client is indigent. Specifically, she's on disability. I'd ask the court to consider probating the fine in full or partially, in addition to probating some of the community service.
All right. Why were you late for court?
I had to bring an Uber down here and then I come from Universal City and the traffic was horrible.
All right.
She did text me this morning too, Judge.
All right. What is your disability for?
I've had 5 back surgeries, 2 knee surgeries, and ongoing autoimmune disorders.
All right. So I'm reading the police report. So it always appears that females want to fight over some boyfriend who could care less about either of them. So explain to me why you thought it was appropriate. Your daughter's ex-boyfriend's girlfriend is coming over to have a conversation with her. I say conversation loosely. And so your daughter calls her brother and says, hey, this girl is coming over. So instead of anybody saying, let's call the police, everybody's like, oh, she's coming over to start something. And the brother's like, well, I'm going to come over there to help in case there's any problem. Nobody thinks of calling the police. Then you get involved. You fire a shot. You could have killed her. And I'm reading this, the bullet went through a bedroom, went somewhere else. You could have killed some young child who's just at the apartment trying to enjoy his best life. And meanwhile, people who didn't raise their children appropriately are getting into a fight over some boy who's probably with another girl right now, who probably doesn't have employment and has nothing going for himself. Because if he did, he would not be dating girls fighting over him. So what were you thinking?
It was actually the young man's sister.
Yeah, but what were you thinking?
I was defending my daughter because she was 27 years old. and
So
my
you're
daughter was
pulling out a
16.
gun with a crowd of people. And I read the report, and what it says was your son was trying to pull you back. Other people were in between you and this person trying to de-escalate, and you escalate by pulling a gun. Did anybody pull a gun on you?
No, but I did know them to have weapons.
No. Did anybody pull a
No.
gun on you? So you're 2 steps away from being charged with murder and probably on trial for murder, looking at a life sentence where nobody's going to care whether you have a disability or not.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you're firing a gun, then putting it back in your waistband. People do watch too much TV where everybody wants to carry a gun in their waistband like this is Miami Vice or something.
Yes, ma'am.
You taught your children nothing on that day, because guess what they're going to be thinking? Pull a gun. Guess what? It doesn't matter if there are 20 people around. It doesn't matter if we're in a crowded stairwell. Whoever gets shot, gets shot. And guess what? That bullet that went through somebody's apartment, because they say it went through somebody else's apartment who has nothing to do with nothing, their child, and we've had a case like that before, their child just standing in the kitchen, minding their own business, cooking, end up with a bullet in the brain splatter and brain matter all over the floor, and they have nothing to do with nothing. And then the defendant is up in here crying, which you would have been up in crying. I didn't mean to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Pulling a weapon should not be somebody's first thought. You should have picked up the phone. And I understand that this started at a different complex, and then y'all took it to another complex. Everybody should have been calling the police.
Yes, ma'am.
People should not have been opening the doors. And if your son was coming over to help his sister, you know what he should have said? We're going to close this door. We're going to keep the door locked. We're going to call the police.
Yes, ma'am.
And that would have been the end of it. Now, guess what? You got a criminal case pending,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're going to be on deferred for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And you will forever be labeled as somebody who has a felony.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any underage children at your home?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
She's 17.
Okay. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred that's being asked for. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Breonna Brown or her family. And if Breonna Brown shows up to your daughters or shows up to your place because she still thinks she's got a great catch with this ex-boyfriend, you need to call the police.
Yes, ma'am.
200 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any grandchildren?
Yes, I have 3.
And who's the parent of those?
My 26-year-old son.
All right. Do you ever babysit?
Yes, ma'am. 3 days a week.
All right. There's going to be parenting classes. I'm going to want regular UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. We're going to do a UA today. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Anger management classes. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. If everything works out with the field visits, then probation, you can do those as you see fit. And the MRT course. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
Want to do proof of disability or SSI or?
Yes. Proof of disability or SSI within 2 months. If not provided, then proof of employment within 60 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Anything else, probation?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You shooting at her, almost killing other people who have nothing to do with nothing. She could have pulled a gun. And if your grandchildren are in that house and she wanted to fire a weapon and shoot, any one of your grandchildren could have been killed. And you know what? That would have been all on you. And you would have been on the news crying. You would have been in here crying. And everybody would have said, this is what you all brought to the doorstep.
Yes, sure.
So you're going to have to do better. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
Will you hand me my screen box?
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am, can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.